We're switching topics to. I just saw this. I don't know how much of a big deal this is going to be. It's kind of a slow news week for me. I've been sort of Scott the Waz would be interesting. I do know of a YouTuber very into collection. Anyone here know of a channel called John's Arcade? Heard of John's Arcade? Arcades on computer space. Okay. Oh yeah, the I heard that name from Skyskipper. Yeah, I just actually heard that. Disney has announced, or hold on, I have the article here. I like when I just try and remember stuff, and it's like, well, you've saved the article on purpose. It looks like Disney is going to start blocking Netflix ads on Freeform, which is their channel, used to be called ABC Family. I'm trying to see if they ABC, of course, and FX, which I believe they also own. They're going to start trying to block Netflix ads. There's a couple different issues with this. One of them is that it's blocking Netflix ads. It doesn't seem to be blocking Amazon Prime ads. Ooh, excuse me. Or Hulu ads. At least they haven't said so yet. That would be interesting if they don't block those. Because blocking Netflix and blocking all of them makes perfect sense to me. I saw somebody had posted it. Hey, Qualified Gamer, what's going on? I saw somebody had posted and they were talking about how Disney is evil and this and that. And, here Disney's at it again. This makes perfect sense to me. And I don't understand. This to me is a situation of everybody just wants Disney to be the bad guy here. Everybody likes the idea of Disney being the bad guy. And they have every right to do this. They don't own Hulu though. I don't think they'll be blocking content from that. That's interesting. Netflix is the only one I see as competition. Hulu's WB. I don't actually see this as an unbelievable thing. This actually all makes perfect sense to me. It would not have made sense. Okay, so no, it actually would have. All right, so here's the thing. Network television and even cable has been on the decline. And it started years ago. It started years ago when these streaming services started. Netflix was fine when you bought DVDs and you rented them and you got them in the mail and you sent them back. That was never going to interfere with network television, with cable television. It was never going to interfere with any of that. When they all started streaming, and then when Hulu built up and then they started streaming, I remember I was there like at the beginning of Hulu. When all of those started streaming, that affects network television and cable television. I would have thought right from the beginning that network TV and cable TV would have not advertised them because they're competition. And I think the problem is just that in the beginning, nobody thought of them as competition. Nobody thought that was the way the world was going to go. That streaming was going to be the thing. So they didn't really bother. But it was very clear 10 years ago, 5 years ago, that this is a serious issue, that network and cable TV are in serious jeopardy when it comes to competing against streaming services. Yet they still run ads for those things. Why would you run an ad for your direct competition? Individual networks were not a direct competition for Netflix and Hulu and now Amazon Prime. All of those industries, all of television, all of cable television were that was the threat. Those were the sides. Streaming versus broadcast. Those were the sides. And broadcast never fought against it. They just sort of let it happen. They ran ads for it. Now you have Disney, who is starting their own streaming service. It makes perfect sense to me that they're not going to want to advertise other streaming services. The confusion is that so far they're only saying that they're blocking Netflix. I imagine that they're going to say something later on. it makes sense to me. I don't see this as an evil Disney thing. I see this as a business move that makes perfect sense. Don't most streamers have rules against self-advertising, against self-promotion? I would not. I'm not okay with people coming in here and posting a link to their channel and saying, "Don't watch this, go watch me." No streamer is okay with that. We have a Discord that I never look at. The Discord has a self-promotion channel. If you want to post your stream in there, you can post it in there. But don't come here and post up for your stream. So why is that normal for us and not normal for... I think that Disney's fine in this. I think that they're 100% completely justified in doing this. You know, when you go to the movie theater and you watch the trailers, oftentimes the trailers are for movies that are coming from that movie's studio. You know, there are other ones, obviously, but it's not... I don't see the problem here. I don't see the problem with Disney saying on their channels that they own, hey, don't watch these other streaming services, go watch ours. I think that it makes perfect sense. Not all businesses are evil. Yeah, don't watch this. Watch Steven Universe. I should go to my cool stream. That always happens and never messes up. Yeah, I don't know. I wanted to talk about that, and I wanted to see how you all felt. If you had even seen this, this is very recent news, like literally 20 minutes before the stream started, I saw that, and I was like, oh, I kind of want to talk about that. I kind of want to talk about it because Lizard has enabled 500 seconds. What is happening? Hold on. Yeah, you did it for 500 seconds. Now people can only... Hold on. 10 seconds. Yeah, it was like 500 seconds. Basically, you get to say one thing per topic. You better make it count. No, I appreciate that. I fixed it. On mod, I fixed it. It's back to 10 seconds. Look, no. We'll do that one day. Yeah, just say slow. That, you know, Unqualified Gamer, when that happens, you need to all band together on Discord and figure out what you want to say, and then each pick a letter, and then everybody type one letter of the word so that we can get a message out in a timely manner. Dude, it was an accident. I know, Lizard. We're just teasing. But yeah, the whole Disney Netflix thing, I don't know. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with them blocking ads. I'm very surprised that they haven't done it sooner. I'm very surprised that all network, all broadcast television hasn't done it. Because I would have. I can tell you right now that I would never have said, sure, go ahead and run commercials. I mean, you would never turn on an ABC channel and see a commercial for a CBS show. And that's not them saying, oh, well, look at them playing favorites. Yeah, they have their own shows. They have their own channel to promote. Yeah, I think people nowadays are just itching for any excuse to villainize Bear. Yeah, UAC, I absolutely agree with that. And I think the problem is specifically here that we want to hate Disney. Everybody wants to hate Disney because they're the giant conglomerate. So it's easy to hate them, and it's fun to hate them. It's fun to bash them and make jokes and all of that stuff. So, and that's just something that we've gotten used to. The reality is that they're not unjustified in this, but it's almost like it's a knee-jerk reaction to hear Disney did a thing. Oh, well, of course Disney did a thing. And you haven't even heard what they did. You know, oh my God. If you read a headline, if you were scrolling through newsfeed and you read a headline that said Disney's at it again, you would automatically think that something's wrong. And of course, probably because I just said it with a smart ass tone. You would automatically think that Disney is doing something bad. But you could easily open the article and find out that they made another hit movie that is going to be very popular. And it has nothing to do with being bad, but it's still a justified headline. But your brain automatically wants to believe. There's a great Batman Beyond episode where it was the guy that was like, he had the eyeball and then he was like swirly. He had like a swirly face. The one that was like trying to manipulate Terry and Batman against each other. And when he gets arrested at the end, he tries to convince everybody that Batman, that Terry McGinnis Batman is bad. So Spellbinder, thank you. At the end of the episode, he gets arrested. Spellbinder gets arrested, and he looks over at Barbara Gordon. And he says, "You were so ready to believe it was easy," and that's what it is. That's what this feels like to me. I know it's a weird reference, but that's what it feels like to me. You're so ready to believe that Disney is doing something bad that you don't even hear the details. You hear Disney did a thing, and you jump all over it. And it's a little obnoxious. It's a little. We talked a few weeks ago about the idea of cancel culture and how once cancel culture hears something and they have a reason to hate somebody, they refuse to listen to any evidence to the contrary. This is the same thing. It's the same exact thing. And it sucks. Because people end up getting flack that they don't deserve for it. I mean, let's be honest here. Cut Disney a break. They're just going to do something crappy next week. Right? Isn't that's what we all think, right? We're all pretty sure that that's going to happen. I remember when Cartoon Network invaded Nickelodeon. Oh, that's right. I do remember that happening. Makes a lot of sense. Rival companies aren't going to advertise each other. Yeah, it'd be like Nintendo. Yeah. Could you imagine, John Pancho, if Nintendo created something along with PlayStation? Let me see a part of this. How business people have been portrayed in media over the years. It's affected people's views on business and capitalism in a negative way. Aqua, you're right. You're absolutely right about that. When you watch a movie and there's a guy in a suit, the guy in a suit is the villain. You know, he's the businessman. He's the greasy businessman that's trying to keep the rock band down. That is always the case. And again, it's easy. It's easy because we already see it. We already see that. So it's easy to sell us that. I remember there was a time where if there was somebody British in a movie, in like an action movie, they were the bad guy. There was always some evil British businessman or something. And I remember thinking, like, what's wrong with British people? And then eventually now we're at a point where if there's someone British in the movie, they're probably the good guy, and the Americans probably the United Statesman is probably the bad guy. No, they're guilty. Shut up. Though I notice people tend to grow to hate things they're just big and well-known. Yeah, UAC, that is the what's it called? The hipster. That's the sort of hipster behavior. It's not good because it's popular. That's the sort of hipster thing. You know, the idea of, oh, this is a great restaurant, but you probably never heard of it. You know, it's good because it's not very well known. And then when it's very well known, that's what makes it bad. Do you think it's a bit pretentious of Disney to go out of its way to say that they won't do obvious things? Like, well, that's the thing, AGM. I wonder. Let me look at this article again, because I don't know if they put out a press release. Company has told Netflix it will not run its commercials on entertainment networks. All right, so here's the thing. They didn't actually put out some sort of press release. They told Netflix, and then somebody told everybody else. They probably had it, because when you have an advertising deal, you have a deal. There's a contract that goes into it. Disney probably approached Netflix and said, "Listen, we are not going to follow any kind of contract. We're not going to run your ads." And then somebody jumped online and said, Disney said that Disney's at it again, everybody. And of course, you don't have to do anything else beyond that. With the internet the way it is, with the cultures the way they are, you don't have to say anything more than that. You just have to put it out there and let the internet do its own thing. It'll catch fire all on its own. Alan Rickman in Die Hard, yeah, that's a classic. European villain. Guy in a suit could be a SHIELD agent. Now he could be a SHIELD agent. You don't see Sakurai advertising a game on another console outside. Of course not. Same problem I have with how Russians. Yeah, Russians. There was a while where, obviously after 9/11, where Middle Eastern people were upset because constantly when they were in media, they were the villains, and it was not helping, considering what had just happened. That they're even in the movies, they're the villains. Because in the real world, people were, and especially in the United States, they were looking at them as the villains. I remember there was a lot of outcry for that. It's funny though, because my understanding is in other places in the world, when there is American military in the movie, U.S. military, they're the villains, or at least they're the jerk characters that nobody wants to listen to. It's hilarious. You mentioned hipster culture. Is it a bad thing? Fox, whether it's bad or good is up for debate. I've never liked the idea of something sucks because it's popular. That's when you get into your Fortnite arguments and your Frozen arguments. You get into the Pokemon arguments where, it sucks because everybody knows about it. It's like, that's not necessarily true. If it sucks, it sucks. The heck is hipster culture? That's basically hipster culture. My experience with hipster culture is the idea that if it's underground and nobody really knows about it, that's what makes it cool. And if it's popular and it's mass produced, that's what makes it terrible. That's my experience with that side of hipster culture. Every time I watch it makes me want a Stream Deck or even an effects. Yeah, I'm using the echoing is my effects board. Was my mixer, but the Stream Deck has all my sounds and stuff. Maybe one of the reasons why my pet peeve is when stories try to be topical. Yeah, Aqua, and that's also a reason that people don't like topical stories, because they are limited to that specific time. They don't age very well, because it's the now thing. One thing that I don't like with the idea of the hipster culture is the ultra trendiness. I only wear these clothes because they're the clothes that are in style right now. Or I only wear these clothes because they're not in style right now. That's sort of counterculture. I don't like it. I wear clothes that I like because I like the way they look on me and they feel comfortable. I act a certain way because I like how it feels because it's me. I don't behave differently because that's the popular way to behave or anything like that. That's outrageous. One thing I hate about hipster culture is hipsters. I don't hate Frozen because it's popular. I hate it because I don't think it's a good movie and made for a bad Kingdom Hearts 3 level. That movie gets dated about it. Yeah, absolutely. I guess everyone just loves Rami. Everyone loves to be part of a secret. That's the trick there. And obviously this is not about Disney and Netflix. That's the trick there, is that everybody wants to be part of this secret thing. Everybody wants to be part of something that nobody else knows about. Way too many people don't like the idea of doing the thing that is popular, because they don't want to be seen as that. Because when there is something that is incredibly popular, people who fall in line with that thing are seen as followers, and they don't want to do that. You know, they want to be individual and maybe a little edgy. You know, they want to go against the grain. And when you follow the very popular things, people don't feel like that's what you're doing. They think that you're just going along with it because everybody else is going along with it. Everybody wants to be part of the super secret thing. Sonia, I really love to be part of a team and to find out that the whole enemy team is and how they can be taken down. Um, um, we talk about what's it called? Gating? No. What the hell is it called? When we don't let anybody in to our cultures and our hobbies. Gatekeeping. We talk about gatekeeping, and gatekeeping is a form of that. Gatekeeping is a form of, oh well, I want to have my own special thing. So I don't want people who don't belong in my special thing here because it makes my thing less special. That's what gatekeeping is. When people are very blatantly like, okay, I don't know. You don't get to be a geek unless you're actually a geek. I don't want people wearing fake gamer girl clothes or fake, muscular guys playing games. Is like, oh well, they don't really care about video games. They just care about Madden and lifting weights. Like, there's that kind of behavior, and that's what that is. That's because if your thing is massively popular, it feels less special to people, and they don't want to feel like they're part of a group. Hey, Broken Hearties. They don't want to feel like they're part of a group that's just going with the crowd. Sports has the worst ban. Sports is a very, very good version of that. Sports is actually a good version of that because even within the sport, you have these fractures of groups. It's sometimes it's not enough for somebody to say they're a football fan. They have to be a fan of a specific team because that's always oh, you watch football? Yeah. What team do you like? What does it matter? I like football. You know what I mean? That should be all that matters. But everybody wants to be part of this super secret club. I was thinking hipster meant you like retro and outdated stuff. You like retro and outdated stuff. Fox, yes. A lot of hipsters like retro, outdated stuff because it's not the popular thing anymore. That's exactly what it is. Because it's not popular. Because it's not the thing that most people are doing, which automatically makes it better. So yeah, you're right. That is a lot of hipsters do fall under they like the retro stuff, and that's why they like it because the mass audience isn't doing it. So if Fortnite gets more popular, it will die. Jerf, yes. Well, that already happened. I think Fortnite already peaked, and Fortnite's already gotten to the point where it was so big. There's a lot of people who just don't want to play it anymore because they don't want to be one of those people that plays Fortnite. So they have slowed down already. I stopped playing it just because I played it for a year and I got, eventually I got tired of it. Sports is the main thing why people hate mainstream because at least most of us remember how those popular people look down on. Yeah, sports is probably one of the big. That's probably a whole nother topic, but sports is one of the biggest examples that people have when it comes to the idea of being looked down on because they don't participate in this thing. If I tell you I'm a Chicago Bears fan, then it helps knowing what team and storylines I'm close to. But with bandwagons, you see people who jump teams nearly. Yeah, and Rocket, and nobody wants a bandwagon jumper. Nobody likes the idea of going to the bar to watch their Chicago Bears play, and then there's a bunch of other people cheering there who didn't care last week and won't care next week. Didn't Fortnite drop? Yeah, Fortnite. I mean, eventually, it's a free game. Eventually, people are gonna stop downloading it. But the sales and stuff have dropped significantly for Fortnite. I mean, they've made like billions of dollars, so they're fine. But there's a lot of people who don't want to get into Fortnite because it's the popular thing. Secret anime from most 50 years ago because of the drama that happened. Lizard. I went through a long stretch where I didn't watch anime, and it was because I did not like the idea of interacting with the anime culture of people who their show is the only good show and your show sucks and you suck because of it. So I went through a large stretch where I just avoided anime because I got tired of dealing with that. I got tired of dealing with people who I'm sorry that I watched the first season of Sword Art Online and enjoyed some of it. Oh my God. Sorry everybody that I'm so terrible. I'm sorry that I watched Attack on Titan and I liked it, but because it was popular, well, that makes me terrible. Anime is a good example of that too. For a while there were shows that, because a lot of people were very limited to their act. This has nothing to do with Disney anymore. It's probably, I'm going to take that down. There are a lot of people who their only exposure to anime for a while was Adult Swim, was certain access to shows, mainly just Adult Swim, or oh my God, or like Fox Kids episodes of shows or something like that. There were a lot of people who that was their only access to, and they would try and talk to people about anime, and they would, oh, did you watch Dragon Ball? Yeah, I watched it on Adult Swim. And then they were looked down on because that was their only exposure, because their only exposure to anime was the popular generic thing, but that was all they had access to, and then there's this idea of, oh, well, quick, switch to viewer topics. Oh yeah, you're right. Hold on. We'll just do that. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we're viewer topics. And that was their only exposure to anime, was the ability, was things like 4Kids and Adult Swim. But they were insulted and they were teased because they weren't able to watch the rarest stuff. When I remember when Dragon Ball Z was a big thing and people were talking about, I remember when the Cell Saga first started and people were, oh my gosh, Cell Saga, and I heard this happens and that happens. And we had bootleg VHS from New York, and we watched the end of the Cell Saga. Like, we watched the actual destruction of it. I didn't fault anybody for that. When people came in and talked about sell this and sell that, I was working at the video game store. Toonami, that's Broken Hearties, thank you. Toonami is the name that I was trying to think of. I was never going to fault them and say, oh, well, I've already seen the end of the Cell Saga. I would say, oh, yeah, that stuff's pretty cool. I'm not familiar with it, or I didn't watch it, or whatever, and eventually they were going to catch up. They didn't have the resources that I had to watch that stuff. But I could very easily have gatekept and said, well, you're not a real anime fan unless you go to New York and buy VHS bootleg tapes. Like, come on. What kind of a giant a-hole would that make me to act like that? Rare stuff like hentai. Now, hentai, that's what iMesh was for. I think iMesh was the one I could download video from. We hate you because you can't find the rare stuff, even though it's hard. Yeah, the whole purpose of it being rare. All seriously, this is the exact reason why I hated anime clubs in college. They would bully people who were into the mainstream animes. It's so weird to like. As much as I am a geek, as much as I am a giant geek and a giant nerd, there are times when I see people. The PC master race joke. The whole thing about PC gamers don't like the console gamers, and oh, well, maybe one day you'll grow up and play a real video game. Maybe you can play something more than 60 frames per second. There's this whole PC master race idea where there's a snobbiness that comes with being a PC gamer. And for as much of a geek as I am, and as much as I like the idea of our community being one big giant community, sometimes I look at them and I want to say to them right to their face, but you're a nerd too. you do realize that the only person that sees that argument is you, because the rest of the world thinks you're a loser. I got news for you. Like, I hate to say it that way, but everybody else in the world that watches you argue about your PC gaming being better than console gaming, they all think you're a loser too. Like, they're not differentiating. When people with comic books, like, comic books are better than video games and all of this stuff. Like, the rest of the world thinks you're a loser. We're all in this fight together. We're all on the same side. We, according to generic society, we are all lazy losers who do this stuff in our parents' basement. That's who we are to everybody else. So maybe we need to understand that rather than create these splinter groups inside our own culture because it feels good when we feel like we belong to something special, something specific. I remember the PC guy at Target. He always put oh my God, unqualified game. Yeah. I don't remember his name. I almost friggin' slapped him one day. Yeah, he was pushed on console. There was this guy when I worked at the Bullseye that he would constantly like, oh, well, he was like that. He was the guy that was like, oh, well, you guys, don't worry. One day you'll get a computer and you'll play modern games. And it's like, you're a loser too. Like, I'm a loser just like you are. Is mass produced by Dyson. a house divided unto itself cannot stand. I don't know who said that, so I don't know what accent I was, what voice impression I was trying to do there. Every time I hear a game reviewer talk about frame rates, I go, "Who cares?" Because I barely notice it. The older I got, the dumber the notion of a real fan became. To the point, I no longer call myself a fan of anything. If anything, I just say it's not a good thing to call yourself a fan, since that's an abbreviation of fanatic. Trios, I am a fan of gaming. I am a fan of geek culture as a whole. Individually, I find it difficult to say that I'm a Nintendo fan. And I love Nintendo. Oh yeah, I don't have my lights on. And I love Nintendo, but I struggle to call myself a Nintendo fan or any kind of fan, because you're right. There's when people say fan, it makes it. I started hearing fanboy. I used to say fan, and I started hearing fanboy. And fanboy to me is somebody who thinks that their thing can do no wrong, and I think that that's outrageous. The idea of a Nintendo fanboy who thinks that Nintendo can do no wrong has never played a Virtual Boy in their life. The Virtual Boy was a mistake. Sony fanboys, where their company can do no wrong. That to me is ridiculous. So I have limited using the word fan just because fanboy is the word that comes to mind when I think of that. Don't say it too loud. The fanboys will hear you, like me. Hold on a second. Okay, sorry about that. Had a clog. All right, so if anybody didn't notice, we switched over to the viewer topics portion of the show. All right, so hold on. I also forgot to put my lights on, and I feel bad. Here, we'll go with blue. There we go. I like that better. That's a nice background for the viewer topics card. So yeah, viewer topics portion. So if you want to talk about something, go right ahead. The only one that does no wrong is Microsoft, because that will require them to do something. You can't do nothing wrong if you don't do anything at all. So the 24-hour Pokemon live stream Fox brings up. What? This 24-hour Pokemon thing, where it's supposed to be like a camera set up in the Galar region forest and you're supposed to see things, is ridiculous. Just someone's gonna post a highlight later on. Don't even bother. This is ridiculous. The only good thing that has come of it is the memes. I have seen pictures of like the static Galar region forest, and then people have posted memes and stuff. I love it. I think it's great. Bro, yeah, and listen, I wouldn't watch it. My whole issue is just the existence of it. It doesn't. I feel like there's a better way to promote what's going on than it just seems like a stupid idea. That's the thing. If it seems like a good idea but it's not for me, I won't watch it. But some ideas just seem stupid, and that seems like a stupid idea. It's just ASMR. Yeah, pretty much, right? It's just like a foresty themed ASMR video. The Steven Universe. UAC. I want to chat about that, but the Steven Universe thing just happened. Apparently, it's called Steven Universe Future, and I know this will not everybody here is a Steven Universe fan. Steven Universe just posted a clip of the new intro. It's going to be called Steven Universe Future, and it is basically going to take place after the recent movie, which the recent movie was the introduction of the future. It's supposed to be years after the events from before. I think it's supposed to be years later. And the idea is just that it is later on. Steven's a little bit older, which is probably a great way to explain why Zach Callison, the voice of Steven, why he is sounding a little bit older. It seems interesting. It's supposed to be a limited show. It's supposed to be they said like a limited series. So I don't think this is the brand new year after year series, season after season. I think this is just going to be a limited run of a show. I'm interested in it. I'm interested. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see if maybe they use it to wrap up some story threads that might have been left over. In the intro, they show Jasper, which I'm very interested to see the role that Jasper's going to play from now on. I don't like Jasper. That's the only thing. I'm not a huge fan of Jasper, and I don't care to see a Jasper redemption. I think that the character knows exactly what's going on and doesn't care anyway. That kind of character to me doesn't deserve a redemption, and Bismuth deserved a redemption because Bismuth was in a situation where she felt like she was misled. She misunderstood the situation in the world around her, and when she did understand it, she got to be a better gem for it. Jasper is a villain. Jasper is a villain character. She is abusive in the worst kind of way. And she doesn't deserve that kind of redemption. So I don't like the idea. Yeah, Jasper represents abuse culture. I don't like it. I don't like the idea that she might get redeemed in some way. Possibility of a white diamond fusion. Oh my God, Steve, a diamond fusion? A diamond fusion would be big as a planet. Thoughts on gender neutral gems Z? I didn't see anything about that. I would have to look into that more. But yeah, it's a Steven Universe Future. I'm interested. I want to see what happens. I have no way to watch it. I don't know what the PS4 adventure game was. Kamala Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, because she's a teenager. That explains why she's so angsty. Seems like every other video now about current gaming news is about greedy microtransactions and loot boxes. I'm looking forward to them possibly being snuffed out by all the bad press, but at the same time, I don't know what else is going on right now. Microtransactions and loot boxes they're popular to talk about right now because they are a popular topic. Because when you see stuff like that become popular, you have to snuff it out. Rocket Bear, have a good one. Thank you so much for stopping in. You have to snuff out that kind of bad behavior. The reason everybody's talking about loot boxes and microtransactions and online gambling with video games is because if you don't talk about it, it's gonna take over. And so people want to talk about it. They want to cast a light on it, and they want people to understand that it's not a good thing. That it is in fact gambling. And there's no question of that. Loot boxes, randomized loot boxes anyway. Steven Universe Future, gender neutral gems Z. Yeah, I don't. Is that just what you're calling it? Is that just you're just calling it gender neutral gems Z? I don't. I don't know. It's fine to me. Carlson as angsty as that trailer. Okay, so I'm not familiar with the Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You said I'm not familiar with that. Diamond Fusion would create a Chaos Emerald. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with it, with the Steven Universe thing, and yeah, the loot boxes stuff. It is what it is. All right, very true. This stuff won't be policed unless everyone and their dog keeps hammering away. Yeah, you can't let everybody slide. Are you telling me I missed a few games in Ultra Sun? Yeah, you can't let that stuff slide. You can't let the bad behavior slide. You know what happens when you let the industry slide in a way that is not good for it? Streaming services take over television and cable. That's how it works. Oh, not Ultimate Alliance, the PS4 Avengers game. Okay. All right, yeah. So I'm not. Yeah, not too funny. Do you find any more games on your Genesis? No, Lizard. I have not found any more games on my Genesis Mini, nor has anyone else. Apparently, I thought they did, but they don't. Okay, it is 6:30. Unless anybody has any other viewer topic. Thoughts on the Alpha Dream situation. It's unfortunate. So for anybody that doesn't know, Alpha Dream filed for bankruptcy. Alpha Dream is apparently the company that is responsible for the Mario and Luigi RPG games, which are fantastic, by the way. I played Superstar Saga. I played through most of Bowser's Inside Story. I have not played Dream Team, although I heard that was really good. And I have not had the opportunity to play Paper Jam, which I really wanted to play, but I've heard so things about it. They are apparently filing for bankruptcy, something like $4.3 million in debt. I would love for Nintendo to scoop them up, absorb them as a separate entity so that they can create different games. One of which I would love to see them develop an actual Mario RPG 2. Yes, I know that Paper Mario was supposed to be the continuation of the Mario RPG games, but it does not use any of the Mario RPG assets. It doesn't look the same. It doesn't play the same. It doesn't act the same. It is not the same thing. Alpha Dream could develop an actual Mario RPG 2. I would like to see that. I think Nintendo now owns the rights to the RPG series. Apparently, Nintendo bought the rights for the Mario and Luigi RPGs. I wanted a part. So why not, absorb Alpha Dream and let them develop the new games? I don't know. I think I would like it. I wanted a Partner in Time remake. I'm sad. I'm sad now. One less company to make Mario RPGs, and people want to play them. And Greg is dreaming big. I don't. It's $4 million. It's a drop in the bucket for Nintendo. I know that sounds weird to say, but for Nintendo scooping up Alpha Dream would be nothing to them. That would be a not even a dent in their wallet, and they would have a dedicated studio to Mario RPG games. I think it would be great. What would be a good Switch title to take on a cruise? Animal Crossing. Unless you mean something that's out already, in which case Dragon Quest Builders 2. Gregor's dreaming big. Bowser's Inside Story is one of my favorite. I have to go. I'm probably gonna have to start it all over again, but I think I do want to play through that again. Later, Aqua Sakura, have a good one. Don't worry, Aqua. We're actually gonna wrap up here soon. Jeffersonia has a topic. How have you been? I have been okay. Jeffersonia, I am still dealing with what I'm dealing with, but I am in a better mindset to do it. So that's probably the most I can say about it. That's what they want. They want stuff without denting the wall. Yeah, and they're gonna. And Latimer, they'll get it. They'll get it if they buy that studio. Hot take, Greg. Can I borrow some money? AGM, only if you lend me some money. Which I don't want to say to you because you donate sometimes. But yeah. So I didn't have only had 2 topics, and then the viewer topics were a little short. So we're gonna shut that off, and then we are gonna wrap up. Yeah, it's a little bit earlier than usual, about a half an hour earlier. But, I don't want to ramble because I can ramble for a half an hour. Thank you, everybody, for stopping in and for hanging out. I apologize for not turning my lights on until later. I kind of forgot. Everything was sort of rushed right at the end there. All right, now I'm going to try to remember how to do all of this other stuff. If you're watching this right now on Twitch, be sure to go ahead and click follow up in one of those corners somewhere. And if you are so inclined, please go ahead and subscribe. We do this show Fridays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. We also stream Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. is probably going to be the new time. I need to change the banner down at the bottom. Ramen someday, you better believe it. Unqualified gamer. I'll stall for 30 minutes. Also check the links down below. Follow me over. If you're watching this on YouTube, also check the links down below. Follow me over on Twitter and on Twitch, where we do the show with the schedule that I just said. I really need to write out a script for that. And also go ahead and click follow or subscribe. I think it's subscribe. It's subscribe on YouTube. It's follow on Twitch. But then on Twitch, you can also do subscribe, which is the pay thing. So that's how it all works. So there's your social media content creation education for this week. Thank you everybody for stopping in and for hanging out. Very much appreciated. At the risk of getting a little bit mushy, with everything that's going on right now in my life, it is very much appreciated that you all stop in and regularly pop in to, be part of this conversation, take part in the silliness, and whether we're playing a game or whether we're talking about a topic that is silly or talking about a topic that is serious. I very much appreciate that everybody stops in here and takes part of it all. So thank you everybody. Get my buttons ready. Have an amazing weekend. Play some fantastic games. The weather is fine out here. The weather outside isn't sweltering. The weather is actually comfortable. So depending on where you live, maybe the weather is finally comfortable where you are. So play some fantastic games, but also get outside and go and hang out and, play games at a friend's house. But thank you everybody. Have a good one, and I will see you next time.